he needs to make a change. I think I would love to see the rematch. I think in the rematch, if he comes back with the hunger that he needs, he could beat Crawford, because Crawford, is very talented, but I think Canelo could beat him. Canelo's strong, man. Canelo's strong. Canelo could take a good punch. So I think he could just go and don't respect his punch and throw punches even though you're gonna get hit. But don't give up. Keep going until you hit him.
Canelo Alvarez has finally broken his silence, and he's not talking small. He's making one thing painfully clear. He's not leaving boxing until he gets his revenge. After months of rumors and a major surgery, Canelo went on national TV and officially asked for a Crawford rematch in 2026. He says he's healed, he's strong, and he's done hiding behind excuses. This isn't about belts or paydays anymore. It's personal. And he's ready to risk everything to prove their first fight was a fluke. Instead of a flashy press conference, he chose a familiar stage, TV Azteca's Los Protagonistas. And if you expected a defeated, broken superstar, you would have been stunned. Canelo looked calm, sharp, and almost hungry. When the host mentioned the rematch, he didn't blink. He stared straight at the camera and gave fans exactly what they had been hoping to hear.
Y antes de que finalice el 2025, Saúl El Canelo Álvarez estuvo de visita en TV Azteca, en su casa, y habló de los planes que vienen para el próximo año, donde incursionará en diferentes proyectos deportivos. Además, reiteró que su prioridad arriba del ring es la revancha en contra de Terence Crawford, misma que ya se está negociando, misma que quiere a como dé lugar.
Translated directly, he said, "If we do it again, it would be great. Let's go again. I accept it." Not a demand, just a confident yes. He added, "I feel strong. I give him all the credit. This is a drastic shift in energy." He made it clear that avenging this loss is now his only mission, targeting a return around mid-2026. He's not chasing contenders or belts. He wants the one man who made him look human. But this sudden confidence feels strange when you think back to what happened right after the fight. We have to remember the controversy around his post-fight comments. Inside the ring at Allegiant Stadium, moments after losing, Canelo admitted something shocking. "My body doesn't respond anymore."
You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it.
It sounded like the end of a career. It sounded like a man whose prime had slipped away. Yet just 2 months later, everything has flipped. We learned Canelo quietly had elbow surgery right after the loss. Now his camp claims the injury is why he looked slow and hesitant against Crawford. Is it a real explanation or damage control for a bruised ego? By saying he feels strong now, Canelo is selling the image of a rebuilt, dangerous version of himself ready for revenge. But critics are already asking the real question. Can fixing an elbow really close the massive skill gap we all saw that night?
A fight where Canelo, we could say Canelo's jab is the best out there, and he connects it so many times, so active with that jab. I totally agree, especially when he's fighting a left-hander. It's I don't think there's any excuses there. I think Crawford was much better, and we'll do the same in a rematch if it happens, even if he's healthy 100%. A lot of fighters, most of the time when they fight, there's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of problems during camp. There's fighters that fight with different injuries and stuff like that. At this point, I really believe what Paulie's saying. Maybe a rematch is coming, and they're using this to have an excuse to say that the rematch is going to be much better. I could see it that way, because there is a lot of money involved, and the rematch would be huge. But especially when now people are believing that he was injured, so he couldn't throw that jab. Canelo never throws that jab that much anyway. So I really believe that I'm with Paulie in this one.
And what makes this chase even crazier is the contract reality. In the first fight, there was no rematch clause, zero safety net. Canelo is walking straight back into the fire by choice. He has no contractual right to demand anything. He has to hope Crawford says yes. Most fighters in his position would take a tune-up fight, crush someone easy, and rebuild their confidence. But not Canelo. He's skipping the soft route and heading right back toward the most dangerous technician in boxing. It's a move fueled by pure pride. He knows his legacy can't end with that loss, and he seems ready to risk getting humbled again just to rewrite the ending.
Anything specific, the movement or his speed or power or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything.
And just one more, Canelo, it has been, I can't even know the number of years it's been since you've been without a world title. Even after you lost to Dimitri Bivol, you still were the super middleweight champion. It's been probably 10 years or whatever since you haven't had a title. Has it sunk in yet that for the first time in all that time, you're not a world champion?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just that it's been so many years since you have not been a world champion. And so has it sunk in yet that for the first time in forever, you're not a world champion?
No, I feel a champion no matter what. You know, I win no matter what, and I still feel a champion. So it is what it is. You need to take the loss and accept everything. But I'm gonna continue.
But wanting revenge doesn't make the fight happen because the business side has completely flipped. For a decade, Canelo controlled every negotiation: gloves, venue, money, everything. Those days are gone. Terence Crawford is the undisputed champion now, and he owns the leverage. Breaking news hit that Crawford agreed to a rematch, but only under a harsh condition. He told Canelo, "If we run it back, it's on my terms." And those terms? A weight limit and a purse split that puts Canelo in the B-side spot. Crawford's felt disrespected the first time, and now he's returning the favor. On top of that, insiders say Crawford wants a guaranteed $100 million. Considering Canelo made $150 million and Crawford made around $50 million in the first fight, this is a full power shift. The only way this rematch becomes real is through one man, the Saudi powerhouse, Turki Al-Sheikh.
Is it dangerous to Canelo's legacy to lose to the best of this era and the best of the era previously? I don't know. Like, did Canelo ever have an era where he was the best in the world? Maybe that's the question he's still trying to answer himself, and why he would want this rematch with Crawford. But when I see this news coming out of him wanting the rematch, having the elbow surgery, maybe in his mind going, okay, my elbow wasn't fresh, I wasn't able to turn my shots over, so that's why I can win this rematch. I like the competitive nature of it. I don't like the fight for him. I think the matchup's all wrong for Canelo. I think this style of fight, in terms of what Terence Crawford does well, is counterpunching off the front and back, the ability to go from range with his jab, be inside with it too, protect himself, catch counter. Just a different timing than Canelo really has on his punches, and then you pair it with the volume that Terence Crawford can throw, and his feet, and his angles. This is the bad matchup for Canelo. We've seen it already, and I just don't know if the rematch goes any differently. I think Terence Crawford would have Canelo in real trouble the second time around. And again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, he'd knock him out cold, because Canelo's got an iron chin, but if he didn't already in the first fight, he would do a number. Texas Instruments 83 plus on Canelo if they rematch. I truly believe that, because I think the matchup's all wrong. I think that both guys learned something about the other in that fight. And the guy that took more away as far as data and things to use was Terence Crawford, because what Canelo brought was the best version of him, and it wasn't enough. And if Terence brought the best version of him and it was enough, because I think both guys brought their best version, but the fight played out how the styles will always match up. Canelo is best when a guy will stand in front of him and go upper body movement, planted feet, let's fight exclusively in the phone book. Terence Terence Crawford is at his best when he can dog walk someone, walk the dog on them literally, have them on a leash, walking around the ring, and then planting his feet, throwing, circling, feinting off the back foot, then coming back, counter punches. He has every tool in the shed. And I think skill-wise and style.
Canelo still owes fights under his Saudi deal, and reports say Lalshik is working to make this rematch happen. He's one of the few people in the world who can look at a $100 million demand and say yes without blinking. Without Saudi backing, Canelo's entire revenge mission collapses instantly. The fate of this rematch doesn't lie in Vegas or Mexico. It depends on whether the Saudi money machine believes a second Canelo-Crawford showdown is worth pouring hundreds of millions into.
2,400 comments, and it's going viral that they're going to fight May 2nd, Cinco de Mayo weekend. And that's not going to happen for multiple reasons. For one, Canelo Alvarez expressed and explained he has no answer, no counter for the style and the skill set of Terence Crawford. None. He told you that. Said no matter how hard I train, no matter what moves I made and adjustments I made, I had no answer for Terence Crawford. Simply put, none. And that's when he made the viral quote that Terence Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather, right? He don't want a rematch. He was contemplating the possibility of retiring, right? Canelo Alvarez was. He's like, in his brain, he's like, I might call it quits. I might not even box anymore, let alone rematch Terence.
Now, the most unsettling part, the experts' reaction. You'd think fans and analysts would be excited about a rematch between two legends, but the mood is overwhelmingly grim. Many insiders are calling this a suicide mission for Canelo. The first fight wasn't close. It wasn't controversial. Crawford didn't just beat him, he dominated him late. Even legends like Roy Jones Jr. are advising Crawford to move on entirely, saying Alvarez doesn't offer a real challenge anymore. When the boxing world is telling the winner to walk away for his own legacy, that says everything.
Are you surprised by just how kind of confident and comfortable Terence was in there at all?
No, not at all, because if you watch Canelo struggles with guys that can box. Terence can box from both sides, left-handed or right-handed. So how could you be surprised?
There was a lot of talk about what next for both men. With Canelo Alvarez, where do you think he goes from here?
I don't know. I think they're trying to have a rematch, so I don't know.
You think he can right the wrongs in a rematch?
I don't think so, no.
You're Terence Crawford. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about what's next for him as well. What left is there for Terence Crawford to go and achieve him?
I don't know. I mean, I think he may want to go get a middleweight title because he skipped over that. He went to junior middleweight. No, he went junior middleweight, then went super middleweight. So he may go back and just capture middleweight title to close the gap, like I wish I would have did with the cruiserweight title. So I think he does that, and that's it.
No, he's not a big super middleweight, Roy, but in terms of a fantasy fight, if you'd have ever shared the ring with a 168 version of Terence Crawford, would that have been an intriguing matchup?
Not really. I like Terence. Terence is a very good fighter, but Terence grew up on Roy Jones. It's hard to tell you these guys are going to whoop Roy Jones. They grew up, and they still asking questions to Roy Jones about how he did things. So they don't fully understand Roy Jones yet either. So it's hard to beat Roy Jones if you don't fully understand him yet. You understand me? So I mean, it's cool. He's a great fighter, don't get it wrong. And it would have been an intriguing fight because he has a heart and he has confidence. And he's a very challenging guy. That's what I like about him the most. That's why I knew he'd beat Canelo.
And Canelo's fans fear the same thing. A rematch might not just be another loss. It could be a brutal ending. If Crawford gets his $100 million, he'll be motivated to finish the story with a knockout, possibly ending Canelo's career in the harshest way imaginable. And with everything on the line, 2026 might be the year we find out whether Canelo's comeback is destiny or disaster.
Azteca TV took it to their social media platform and posted that Saul Canelo Alvarez visited TV Azteca and made it clear about his plans for next year. Confirms his goal to go for revenge against Terence Bud Crawford. To be honest, folks, I think that's good for Bud Crawford and for Canelo Alvarez. I think it works for both. As much as people want to admit it or not, I do believe that it was a close fight. It was a close fight.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Out there, no, it was
You smoke crack, don't you?
No, it's what? No. I think that Terence Bud Crawford exceeded the expectations in terms of when he went toe-to-toe in the 9th and the 11th and the 12th round, and he got the better of Canelo Alvarez. I think that people did not expect that. I don't think that people expected that by the end of the fight, we will be saying that Terence Bud Crawford got a better chin than Canelo Alvarez, who his chin was arguably the greatest chin of this generation, right? And I think that overwhelmed people.